You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others crawl, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Gourmet on hustlesafrica.com is for. All right, hello there, people of the internet. My name is Oduor Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. I am in the studio with a woman that formed the building bricks of Dialogues with Jagero. When she came to the podcast, we went globally viral. You remember?
I do.
Yeah. It's one of those surreal videos that we did because it's my expectations were blown away.
Mine too.
And let me ask you, but again, before I ask you, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm very happy to be back here.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I have been taking care of all the people that you sent to me because, yes, it was interestingly surprising. I myself was not the same, haven't been the same since. I have talked to people from all over the world. I hadn't. Then my reach was East Africa.
Yeah.
Now you spread me out, I want to say, and that's as much as I've been up to. I've been building programs for them. I've been curating virtual experiences for them. I've been healing them. I've been, we started something good.
We talked about, do you remember what we talked about? How to make love the Ugandan way. Was that the poster on the
podcast that was
the first one?
The first one?
Yeah, how to make love the Ugandan way. Is it? Yeah.
Why or how Ugandans make love, or why Ugandans, make love? Because I don't want to phrase it the way you phrased it. Your title was very controversial.
No, but I want you to say, that's what I would like to, what I said exactly, so that.
What you said is why Ugandans win at love, at making love. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I even got to talk with Brian Samanda the other day.
Yeah.
And there is this idea that Ugandans have figured out how to make love. That they have figured it out. That they're intentional about it. That they are not ashamed of it. They are not embarrassed of it. Right? Is that generally true? Because I think Nyiramugisha sounds very Rwandese.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you were born and bred in Uganda.
So like I told you the last time, Nyiramugisha is Amamufumbira.
Mfumbira.
So geographically, we are in Uganda. But culturally, we share a lot with the Rwandese. Right? I saw some of your comments, people were disputing me, claiming to be Nyiramugisha, Dawryn, and a Ugandan. They were saying, no, you should say that you're Rwandan. And I'm very proud to be.
Some people were saying that you should say that you're Rwandan.
Yes, because of my name, But I'm from the southwestern part of Uganda, right? But I was born and raised in two places, Mubende and Kampala. Mubende is a district in Buganda. So I know Kenyans think that all Ugandans are Baganda.
Yeah.
Just like non-Africans think that all Africans are one country.
Yeah.
That Africa is one country anyway, so I forgive you. But there's the Baganda, the people from the Central Africa, rather from the Central Uganda.
Yeah.
So Mubende is one of the places. So my grandfather bought land and raised his family there because it's closer to the city. He worked in the city. Kisoro at the time was very far for him. So somehow we picked up on the culture of the Baganda. But then again, now in my formative years, I came to live in Kampala. Grew up, studied in Kampala, and started working in Kampala. So I have a diverse experience. I studied also in Western Uganda, that's Mbarara. So I have experience of different cultures and different people and different Ugandans. I think the only place that I didn't really go to live or try to understand that much is the northern part of Uganda.
The northern part of Uganda. Yeah. I think when you were growing up, it was a bit chaotic. There was a lot of civil war going on there. Yeah. So, but Mubende is this side of because before you get into Kampala from the border of Kenya and Uganda, there is this town called Mukono.
Yeah.
So Mubende is the other side?
It's the other side.
Yeah. Okay. On your way to Hoima.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So the question, so then we have to social proof you again. Who is Dawryn? How do you pronounce the word Dawryn? Is it just Dawryn?
It's Dawryn. Yeah.
Somebody was saying Dawryn.
Well, how things hit your eye, and how they hit your brain and your mind, I'd like to leave you to your creativity. But if you ask me, I'm Dawryn.
Dawryn. So who is Dawryn?
Dawryn Nyiramugisha is a holistic sexologist.
Holistic sexologist.
And a wellness coach that specializes in sexual wellness, that specializes in hormonal health and emotional health.
3 things.
Yeah.
Sexual health.
Sexual wellness.
Sexual wellness.
Yeah.
And then the hormonal healing.
Hormonal health.
Health.
Yes. And emotional wellness. Yeah.
Can you contextualize the 3? What is what?
Which is what?
Yeah, like for example, sexual wellness.
Well,
what is it?
That's a good one. So sex and sexual health are very wide. As a wellness coach, I understand that sexuality and sexual wellness are not distant or removed from financial wellness or mental wellness or physical wellness. Sexual wellness is a part. When it's lacking as well, you have an imbalance. So it's not removed from your environmental wellness, from your, social wellness, right? But then also we misunderstand what sexual wellness is. Under sexual wellness, we have sexual health. Yeah, the understanding of your of your reproductive organs, understanding contraceptives and basically so there's sexual health. Most people understand sexual health as reproductive health, So you're talking about sexual health in terms of reproduction, children, the womb, we don't even go to the vagina when we're thinking a lot about reproductive health or sexual health. So there's sexual health, there's pleasure. Pleasure is different from sexual health, but those 2 are under sexual wellness, right? Then there's
what is pleasure?
Pleasure is Jagero, pleasure. So pleasure is the connection to how you feel, what you desire, how you embody it in your body, and how you express it. The freedom or the permission to feel or to desire, to express, and then to experience. Then you embody it in your body. That's sexual pleasure. So sexual pleasure can be mistaken for sex. Sex is the performance. Pleasure is the feeling, the experience.
What is an experience if it is different from sex?
Jagero, if you came and touched my head and massaged my scalp and spoke to me about my values, about the things that make me tick, the things that have made me feel let down, get to my soul. If you come and get interested in my life and where I've come from, where I'm at and where I'm going, if you came around me and you hugged me and you saw me and you told me, based on how I know you, I see this and this and this, that's pleasure. It's not a penis inside my vagina.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't end. It doesn't, and it ends there, and everybody goes away.
And I feel good. And I feel good, and I feel regulated, because you see me, because you touch me. You could touch my soul. You could touch my body. Yeah. And that in itself feels good. So that's part of pleasure. right? And I think we discussed a lot about it the last time. The difference between performance sex and presence or pleasure. That pleasure should not be given a limit. That we could spend the whole afternoon talking and touching and maybe massaging each other, and we still call that pleasure. But we have relegated sex to only be a performative thing. So pleasure is under sexual wellness, right? All these things are under sexual wellness. How you understand your hormones, how you understand your sexuality as a person, as a man. It's part of the sex you're going to have, because you understand the size of penis that you have. You understand if you have balls, if you don't have balls, right? You understand that your scalp feels good when it's touched. You understand that your nipples are good when they're stimulated. You understand there's a part between your bum bums that is beginning to feel nice. You start that is reproductive health, but it matters for sexual performance, right? So sexual performance is not by itself alone. Yeah. So under sexual wellness, we have sexual health, we have reproductive health, we have pleasure, then we have sexuality, and the understanding of self. What feels right for me right now? What feels good? How much touch can I tolerate? How much touch is pleasurable? How much touch is bad? What kind of language stimulates me, or what language puts me off? What kind of people, environments make me feel stimulated? Which environments make me feel, the understanding of self is sexuality. What are your sex schemas? Based on where I come from, what are my negative unconscious beliefs about my body, about his body, their bodies, or about how I feel, and then how far or how much am I breaking them down? What do I believe now? What is true for me? Do I feel like sexuality for me is what people think is good, or is it a felt sense for me? That is sexuality. That is a deep understanding of self, your desires, the things that you want to explore, your fetishes, the things that you're afraid of saying, and the things that you freely can say, the things that you're afraid of your body experiencing, the things you'd wish your body can experience. That is having a sense of understanding yourself, and all that is under sexual wellness. So I feel when we talk about sex, the reason why people don't talk about sex is because they limit it to only performance. They don't get to explore what is sexuality, actually.
It's a lot of work, right?
Is it? Sounds a lot because it's not a language that we're used to. Yeah.
I feel like sex is a lot of work sometimes, especially when Nyiramugisha talks about it.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because sex, for me, is as pleasure, is medicine, and we've removed it from that role.
It's medicine.
It's medicine.
How is sex medicine?
Oh, Jagero. Especially for what we're going to talk about today, especially what you said that you want us to talk about today for midlife people. Now, by the time we get to midlife, because we've only reduced it to performance, then people start throwing it away and focusing on other things. This is why I think pleasure is medicine. First of all, pleasure stimulates bonding, more bonding capacity in you. So it stimulates a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone, right? It's the one that makes you want to bond more, be forgiving, be understanding, be compassionate, be empathetic, connect with your emotions, So when there's oxytocin, men and women are more compassionate, there's more connections, there's more empathy, and there's more connectivity. There's better relational capacity, right? But also what oxytocin does is the more you have sex and release that bonding hormone, you reduce on the stress hormone. So when you're not having pleasurable sex, you have more stress accumulation. When you have more pleasurable sex, the stress reduces.
Oh, yeah?
Right? This is the other good thing about pleasure and sex. It makes your body release dopamine, the motivation hormone. You have sex with your wife, and the next day you're motivated to come here at 6 a.m. and yet everybody else is coming at 8 a.m., right? It gives motivation, but also it makes us release nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the capacity for us to move lymphatic fluids in the body, to have aliveness, to have this agility, that lightedness. You're not pulling your legs, you're not feeling tired too much. You're like, there's life, there's aliveness, right? That's what sex does for you. Sex makes you release serotonin, the feel-good hormone. You're good people. You're not irritable. You're not cranky. You're not hard to please. You're not hard to turn on. You're magnetic. Right?
Sounds good.
So when we don't have any of that running, let's see the opposite of it. We are working with people who are irritable, easily irritated, people who take long to come off things. You know, you said something mean to them in the morning, you apologize, but they are still with it for 2 weeks, right? You have people who are not motivated. I think you and I have talked about that. We're seeing a generation of young people who are not motivated enough. Yeah, so there's no motivation. People want something so bad today, and then tomorrow they're acting like they didn't ask for it, like they did not put in such a very long, such long paragraphs for it. People are not motivated. What do we see? People are mean to each other. People will hurt you. People who have no trust. There's no relational capacity. They just come do what they want to do. They're not interested in connecting. They're not interested, but also connecting is too much work because they're not having sex. Because it's no pleasure. Now find those people in midlife.
Unbelievable. Hormonal, you said hormonal what?
Hormonal health. Given my history, and I think you asked why is it that Ugandans value sex a lot. We value it because it sustains our health. You know, having a poor country doesn't help. So our health is good because
I honestly think Uganda is not one of the poor countries.
Well, that's if you look at different things. So sexually, we're not poor. In
Yeah.
terms of food, we are not poor. In terms of relational wealth, in fact, we are relationally wealthy. If you look at some aspects, but if you want to look at roads, then you might start thinking of how poor we are. But what I was taking you to is we value sex because of how it's felt in our bodies. We value it because it sustains us, it keeps us going, and it gives us these things that people have admired about us: the relational capacity, the fun, the life, the lived experiences are more with that. But also because we were given ways in which to live that sustains us and gives us agency. We were given a lifestyle that really helps us to go through different transitions of life differently. I say this because, honestly, when I go on social media and when I go to different countries, the narrative girls have about puberty is different from what our girls have. Puberty is pathologized. Puberty is seen as a problem, while for us it's seen as joy. It's experienced as joy. When we talk about how we experience menses or menstruation, women will think we are lying. When I say I've never had needed to take contraception, and I've not, and I'm not saying it's bad, but the knowledge I've been given about my period, the knowledge I've been given about my womb, does not allow me to sidestep, like I've not bypassed my body's wisdom. You know, the knowledge I've been given.
Your body's wisdom.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yes, because the body is very wise.
What is the wisdom of the body?
Jagero, that's deep. There's the wild wisdom of the period itself. That's the other thing. I now find women saying they don't want the period. They can't wait for the period to end. For us, we've been taught to read the period, to decode it, to understand if your iron levels are low, you can tell from the period, the color of the blood. If you're suppressing emotions, you can tell from the way the period comes, the contraction, the obstruction, the stunted period. You know, today it comes, it skips 2 days, doesn't come, then it flows again after that. You know, we are taught how to tell how our nutrition is going, depending on how many days you flow. If you're flowing for 1 day or 2 days, then you're malnourished. You know, we are taught to be able to see the color, the consistency of the period, to see the way the body feels releasing it, to understand those as signals, not problems.
Oh, yeah? So period is not just...
It's not a pathology. It's a life stage.
When you say pathology, what does
that... It's not a disease, because I find people here teaching their daughters to numb the pain as it's expected. That is periods. When you start menses, that pain is expected. That is not, it's just a signal to be able to listen to and understand how to support this young girl, the kind of self-care she needs. And then when you teach them self-care early, it becomes a part of their lives. It doesn't, then they don't veer away from it, and it doesn't get to look like something that is too much. later. Because now when I'm training women the hormone reset program, for us it's because it's not even something that I get from books. It's something that we're raised to have, that I see it's what has helped us not spend too much money on makeup, or rather on what we put on our faces, so much money to keep our bodies together. We don't get to spend a lot because we've been taught how to live. And we've been taught how to live based on our period and our cycles. That's the language that you get to be able to have. So I started the hormonal care because I needed to teach women how to live, so they don't have to struggle with fibroids, endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, so they don't have to struggle with fertility, so they don't have to struggle with sex, because those are the issues that I was finding. Even before we go to the doctor, there was a lot that women were not doing to be able to combat this. Women are not taught to feel here, right? They're not taught to connect to their emotions, right? So the numbing is quite something. Even when you find them in midlife, like in the 40s, you're telling them that these emotions cannot be suppressed anymore. They're like, don't ask me to start feeling, because if I start feeling, there's a lot I've not felt for years. It will come up and I don't have space, and I don't have time to hold it. And that is a problem, Women here are not taught how to take care of how to rest. It's as if rest is a problem. It's as if rest is earned, It's not something that they know is a part of just being a woman, that you need to know when to work and when to rest. So I designed the hormone reset program to teach them, or to show them how a woman is supposed to live, because we have an infradian rhythm. We have a rhythm on the inside that is not like it's not linear like for men. I know men too have a cycle, but yours is not as hormonal. It doesn't shift in terms of hormones as much as ours does, according to our cycle. So if you teach a woman cyclic living, you've given her the first skill.
Cyclic living.
Learning how to eat, how to rest, productivity, how to manage her productivity, her nutrition, and her energy according to her cycle.
How does a woman live without contraceptions?
I have.
How in
one, I like that. So, were you done with the question?
Yes.
If I understand that. First of all, growing up, I was taught about my period, my vagina, and then sensations. So I was taught about this key thing called ovulation. How to understand ovulation, when my body is not ovulating, and how ovulation is not only for when I want babies. Ovulation is how I tell if I'm ovulating. The women that used to come to school to teach us about periods, they would tell us this ovulation, if you see it stretchy between your fingers, it means you're magnetic. It means you're highly feminine. Yes. So if you see ovulation, it means you're resting well. If you're not ovulating, you're stressed, you're not resting well, you're not eating well. So we're keen on making sure that our bodies can give us visible signs of ovulation. Not I feel a little bit of a prick, I feel some sensations around my ovaries, or the temperature, and all, because the temperature can rise because of something else. The sensations in the ovaries can be because of PID, pelvic inflammation, but this mucus cannot come from anything else other than a clear indication of ovulation. And that mucus rises. For when a woman is done with her periods, there's the brownish secretion that comes out of the vagina, and then days after it clears. Then 5 days to ovulation, it starts changing color. So it changes from being whitish to getting creamish and then becoming clear. Then when it's clear, egg white, and it's stretchy, it doesn't break between fingers. It stretches like this. When a woman goes to susu and she's wiping herself, it actually comes with a tissue. She can tell this is now stretchy. It's not the kind that just breaks, like she cleans and that's it. So if it stretches between fingers, man, you sit on the floor and say, I'm healthy, I'm magnetic, I have rested well. Like that is an indication of ovarian health that is feminine, that is supportive of a woman. So if I've already understood the 5 days, Jagero, and I've understood if I don't see this mucus, this is what it's calling me to do. So if I know that I get this mucus every month, I will be able to manage when I have sex.
To manage?
Yes.
Manage what?
when I have sex and how I have sex. So those 5 days to that mucus, I can, if I'm going to have sex, then I'll use a condom. Or it has to be that I'm with a partner with whom I've discussed that I'm not going to use contraception, and you will have to withdraw.
Withdraw.
Yeah. Those 5 days
Withdraw.
are the days we get to discuss, really. Because for me, they're the most crucial days of my period. After that, we are free. We are free for you to, not withdraw. We are free to not use a condom. We are free to, only those 5 days. So if women can be able to own those 5 days, then they are not...
I don't think I have properly understood the 5 days. The 5 days is in the how stretchy it is.
No. Okay, so... No, I understand really.
Yeah.
I understand if you don't have an understanding of a woman's period, but so there's what the cycle of a woman has 4 phases.
Okay.
It has the menstrual phase, it has the follicular phase, it has the ovulatory phase, and it has the luteal phase.
Okay.
Those are 4 changes in a woman's life, body, and hormones in 28 days.
5 days.
No.
5 cycles.
4 cycles.
4 cycles.
Or rather 4 phases. The phases. So Jagero, a woman's cycle, not all women, but like majority of women, a woman's cycle is 28 days.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to say the 28 days are divided into 4.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has a menstrual phase.
Mm-hmm.
The menstrual phase is from cycle day 1 to the last day of her bleed. Okay?
The last day of her
Her
bleed.
bleed.
Okay.
Not the last day of this cycle. The last day of her bleed.
Okay.
And her bleed for, some of them bleed for 3, some bleed for 5, but majority bleed for 4 days.
Okay.
So the menstrual phase can be 4 days. But again, body wisdom is knowing how long yours is. Like my menstrual phase is 3 days, right? When it becomes 4 days or 5 days, either the blood is very light or I didn't take care of my womb, like I didn't steam or I didn't use the castor pack. There's some things that I've
You
I've
didn't
learned.
steam?
Like I steam my vagina, I use the castor pack. Or
You steam your vagina?
Yes, or I do womb yoga or I go dancing. There's some things I do that make my blood flow easily.
What is steaming the vagina?
Steaming the vagina traditionally for us is using herbs to be able to stimulate the cervical fluids so that you have a wet vagina, a warm vagina that smells good, so that your vaginal lips don't speak all the time. We call that a happy vagina.
A happy vagina, a steamed vagina is a happy vagina.
Happy vagina, because she's wet, she's thick.
The herbs, where do you get them from in Uganda?
Yes, in Uganda. So the fundamental herbs, because I remember some ladies asked me, we have 4 major herbs. We have herbs that tone the uterus, or rather the womb of the womb, that tone it. When it's toned, you don't get, there's a hormone that stimulates blood, that stimulates the pelvis, so it can release blood, right?
Okay.
So if you have, if your uterus is well toned, then you don't go into cramps and pains.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so there's mugwort and there's sage. Those herbs are very good at toning the vagina. Mugwort. Then there's yarrow. There's motherwort as well. Motherwort is like the fundamental herb, the foundational herb for the uterus. Then now there's herbs that cleanse the uterus. Sometimes all the blood doesn't flow out. Sometimes there's things that are growing in the uterus. Sometimes there's the cysts, there's 2 small cysts around the ovaries that, or sometimes it's just adhesions in the uterus. So if you use cleansing herbs, they remove anything in the uterus that is not needed, so it flows out to the blood. Yeah. So for us, we were taught herbs that massage the womb so that it doesn't hold up. Like endometriosis, fibroids, we've managed them with such herbs. So there are so many cleansing herbs, but key for me is knowing that I can add rosemary, thyme. Imagine these are herbs that you have in your kitchen: rosemary, thyme, calendula. I use yarrow. Then there are herbs that stimulate blood flow. Yeah, there's mint, there's parsley. Mint sort of like freshens the vagina, but then there's parsley. Parsley stimulates blood flow, adds blood to the uterus as well, for those who are trying to conceive. And then we add some cloves, we add some star anise. Star anise removes bad energy from the womb. Cloves sort of like cleanse the womb for those who struggle with infections or recurrent infections, So there's a misconception that vaginal steaming messes up with the pH levels of the vagina. That is for people who are not used to steaming, but also they don't know how to steam. For us, we don't steam without probiotics. We already have a lifestyle of taking probiotics, foods that balance your pH levels, right? So because we already have that lifestyle, then steaming, for that day, the heat will mess up or imbalance the pH levels, but you're taking probiotics as aftercare. So we have an aftercare tea also called, like I make mine called Sensuous Tea. I've blended it from the herbs that they used to give us as aftercare herbs. So we have herbs that also you make as a tea and you start taking for the 5 days after steaming. So those herbs you're taking are also taking care of your cycle. The probiotics you're taking are rebalancing pH levels. So there's nothing that is damaged, yeah? It's been the humblest way in which I have taken care of my womb. Jagero, I experienced a season where I lost a baby, and then my tubes blocked because I lost the baby, and then we had an emergency CS, and then the CS left me with an infection. I had, like the CS wound started inflaming, but also my tubes blocked, right? And among the many things that I did, I used only natural methods to unblock my tubes. And one of them was vaginal steaming and probiotics.
Vaginal, when you say steaming, it's a steam.
It's more like pelvic steaming, we have a clay pot, then we have a wooden stool, and also we use only organic products. I'm not for people buying silicone basins and putting them on the toilet and then putting some sockets of herbs. Really modernizing something without understanding really what it used to do can also have its cost. So for us, we get the wooden stool, and then you have a ceramic pot that then you get your herbs and brew them. You don't boil them. Because what I see in some salons, they put a heater, like a kettle, a heating kettle, and then they put herbs. But for us, we believe in steaming them so they don't lose the nutrients. So brewing them rather. So you brew the herbs. You know what brewing means? You don't boil them. You heat up the water. Once the water comes to a boil, then you add the herbs, and you let them stay in that hot water for some time before start using them, like 10 minutes.
You cover it?
Yes, you cover it. So brew is they stay in that hot water for some time on very little heat, so they're not boiling, right? For about 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, you pour them in your ceramic pot. Then you put the pot below the stool. So the stool is elevated away from the pot, and then you're sitting on top here. So the steam that comes from the herbs and the water is what goes into the vagina, sort of like a facial for the vagina.
When you sit on a stool, the vagina is open?
Of course, yeah. So some care.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's open, and then the herbs carry the essential oils.
Yeah.
Rather, the steam carries the essential oils from the herbs.
And the stool has got a hole in it?
Of course, there's a hole.
Oh, it does.
So the steam comes from the pot through the hole to the vagina.
Ooh.
It's a cool thing. You should do it for your wife. I've seen men have bought stools from me to take to their wives, and I have thought of it as a very beautiful thing. And
like a Valentine gift?
No, like ordinarily, I want a stool for my wife, and then he takes the herbs, he learns how to use
sell
them.
those stools?
Yes, I do.
You know where we were?
Yes.
Before we branched into vaginal
Hormonal
steaming.
health. What is hormonal
No,
health? Yeah.
we were into the 4.
The 4 phases.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
there's the menstrual phase now.
Mm-hmm.
So the menstrual phase is the 4 days. To some it's 3 days. To others it's 5 days, right? Others is 7 days. But if it goes beyond 5 days, then that's when you need to see a doctor, right? So then there's the days the days from the 4th day. So day 5 to day 14, yeah, is called the follicular phase. Understand? Now, if you count, so it's been 4 days, then add 5 days. So if you look at the ovulation is day 14. So on day 9, right, from day 9 to day 14, that's your ovulatory window. The ovulatory window, also the one people call the fertility window, right? So that's the window when the mucus starts changing. You understand? So we've had these 4 days, add 5 days, that's 9 days, follicular phase, right? Still follicular phase, but now from 9 days to day 14, the different hormones are released to prepare the body for ovulation. So we call that the ovulatory window. The cervical mucus changes. That's the window when temperature changes, the temperature in the vagina changes. The woman can tell her urine, so some connect to it through temperature. Others connect to it through the fluids. So the fluids for me are the clearest marker. They're the best wisdom the body can give me because they cannot be anything else. Although if a woman has an infection, the color is different, the consistency is different. You don't confuse the fluids of the infection and the fluids of ovulation. So ovulatory fluids start changing from day 9. So by day 14, it's stretchy.
Okay.
So it starts from being creamy, whitish, to turning into
This is fluid inside the vagina.
Yes. Please be observant of your wife's vagina. It would be nice to know it like that. Yeah. So that you can be able to
I tell you, this is a lot of work.
But Jagero, we meet people. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday that sometimes you meet men and you wonder what else do they know about women apart from releasing or relieving themselves through their vaginas.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Like what else? You don't know their values. You don't know a woman's values. Many men don't know about a woman's past. We know your past. We know everything that happened in your past, but you only know her surname and her father's name. Most men don't go beyond that. So you don't know what food she liked when she was growing up. You don't know who she liked playing with. You don't know how she felt loved growing up, what she considered as love and what she considered as pain. So if you don't know those things, how are you loving these women? Because that's a place to begin loving somebody from. When we listen to your stories, we know this is where I'm going to start loving him from. So we love you from a place of holding space for you. We love you from a place of, I know he's not like this, but this childhood makes him behave like this. So this is how I'm going to be holding space for him. How do you guys hold space for women?
It's a good question. We are majorly feeling, right?
Yeah. You don't go deep with them. And then it catches up with men in the 40s. Because now in the 40s, a woman's body is done being rejected. You see the evolution that happens. If you've spent years with me and you can't see me, you're not interested in knowing me, she gets tired of being seen in a version that satisfies you, and she wants to be seen fully.
I see that.
Yeah.
And I think it will be very clear when we talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we were on the 4
the phases. So the ovulatory window, but that is the key.
This is when she gets pregnant.
The ovulatory window is the window any woman who is interested in connecting with her femininity needs to nurture. So the window is nurtured if you rest well, if you understand the cyclic rhythms of when to rest and when to act. The body itself teaches women when they need to rest. The body can feel fatigued. The body can feel like she doesn't want to get out of bed. The body can feel like I could do some self-care. I feel like a massage, or I feel like being taken care of. That's the window when women need to mother themselves. Like there's energy inside that makes us mother and nourish ourselves so that ovulation is clear and it gives us the right signals, right? So then we have the luteal phase. The luteal phase is the phase between ovulation and the next period. So the next period, again, comes differently for different women. For some women, it comes after the 28 days. Other women, it comes after 25 days. Again, body wisdom is knowing how long is my cycle or how long is my luteal phase. So some women have a shorter follicular phase. Some women have a longer luteal phase or even a shorter luteal phase. That's all body wisdom when you asked what's body wisdom. So the luteal phase demands for different care. It demands for different understanding as well. So that's the one that has been it's the one that has been shamed for women. It's been misunderstood and it's been shamed. Or the mood swings go high, she gets cranky, she has low libido, her immunity is low. Oh my God, infections, I get infections. So we mourn it, mourning like mourning death. It's like we are just mourning through that whole period. 14 days of, I can't wait for this period to stop coming. I'm just going to take contraception so this period stops coming. Most girls just go through their womanhood mourning the luteal phase as opposed to appreciating it. It just comes with beautiful knowledge, Jagero. The luteal phase shows you whether you have boundaries or you don't have. If you don't have boundaries, you're emotionally dampened, you're irritable, but it's just asking you, is there things in your life that really are on your plate that don't deserve to be on your plate? Are you setting the right boundaries? Are you saying yes too much? If you're a people pleaser, you're going to have mood swings. If you're a people pleaser, you're going to have nightmares. But the signals the body is giving you is asking you to stop those two. Stop people pleasing, to set the right boundaries, right? The luteal phase is a phase that challenges you to look deeper into your life. Like what needs, because for women, it's been known that we have a life-death, life-nature, meaning we birth and then we kill. When the period is beginning, we are birthing. But when it's ending, we are killing something. So usually we are supposed to have that dialogue with ourselves. What needs dying? What needs to be birthed? Because we are creatrixes, we are creators. What needs to be birthed? What am I hiding? What am I keeping invisible for a very long period of time? What about me is emerging that I'm suppressing, right? But also what about me is not needed that I need to kill? Are there friendships that are not working for me anymore? Is this job still working for me anymore? Are those ideas still working for me anymore? Is reading these kinds of books working for me anymore? When we ask those questions and we do the right work, we don't experience the PMS. Yeah, so that's the luteal phase.
Oh.
Yeah. You have a daughter. I think this would be very important for you. So you can be able to
that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. And I'm like, am I equipped to deal with this thing?
Yeah.
Why does everything feel so hard after 40?
Wow. Wonderful question.
Because I think that is the issue. I was having a very serious discussion with a lady and a man, and there is a general understanding that a lot of women sort of leave their relationships after 40. Just around 38, 40, 41, they are going away. And also men and even women sort of just cannot be able to take care of their lives. But what happens?
Clearly, I think the observation you're putting out is good. It's true. Most relationships end, but we are not talking about it in the 40s or around 38. Then most jobs end. Identities change. People become different or want to be different. But also there's a silencing of something. So
just a minute.
Why does...
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So, what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. Let's talk about 40s. In terms of age, why is it not 35? Why is it not 38? Why is it not 50? It starts at 40. Is there some sort of spirituality behind it, or biological? Biology, women don't like the idea of telling them that your biological clock is ticking.
Okay.
I don't know why it pisses them off, or it's just a reality that something happening to you, but you don't want people to say it aloud.
So you've asked me that question in so many ways. You've asked me why are people tired, and this has nothing to do with women or men, because also men have been left out of the dialogue, and men are silently suffering. So today, for me, I want to include the men as well, right? So the thing you're asking, why are people tired in the 40s, then why the 40s, why not 35, and what about that and all that? So I look at this as midlife. Many times I meet people and they say, Dawryn, women, my wife is this and that. I'm like, or a woman, I meet a woman and she says, Dawryn, I'm experiencing this. I think I'm menopausal, or, for me, my perimenopause is here, or, we have not given language to people to use for what's happening in their bodies, for what's happening neurologically, biologically, for what's happening on a relational scale, on a sexual scale. We've not given people a language. We've only given them a medicalized language that they don't even know what is, right? So maybe I can put a few things or use a few words or give language, to some of the things or changes that we experience, for which we agree, because we don't name these changes. People are tired from what they can't name clearly. And what is happening is shame. So when you say women don't like, why have women been shamed for going through a life's transition, right? And it's not only women. Men are also being shamed for different things I will show you. So there's midlife. We arrive at midlife, a threshold, right? Midlife starts from 35 to 65.
Midlife?
Yes, you're in your midlife if you're hit 35 to 65. We also understand there's early bloomers, late bloomers, blah, 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 blah. But it's a stage when we start noticing a felt sense of changes. Felt because there's what society says is going to happen to you. There's what you're feeling. But you notice that your hormones are changing. You notice that relationally you're changing. Your sexuality desire is changing. You notice that your brain, how it handles things, is changing. Your nervous system is changing. So all those changes are happening in midlife, right? Then there's certain stages we go through. Perimenopause, menopause, andropause. Men experience andropause, women experience perimenopause and menopause. Jagero, by the way, they are not pathologies. They are not sicknesses. They are not a crisis. We have the wrong words for beautiful initiations, beautiful moments, beautiful stages of development. And we have the wrong language, which is shrouded in shame, that started from kitambo. For women, it starts with when they go into menarche, or when they experience menarche, puberty. Everything about their femininity is shamed. And even as we're going to talk about the 40s, but for me, it's seeing how your daughter is experiencing her womanhood, how my daughter is experiencing her womanhood, and how that should change how she arrives in midlife. So puberty, or rather we have different stages of life. Birth, which is celebrated, right? Every year you celebrate your daughter's birthday, your wife celebrates, you celebrate yourself, you celebrate your wife, right? And your friends. But then also there's a second stage, which is called puberty. Who celebrates that? There's so many cultures here in Kenya that celebrate a man when he gets into puberty, right? He's circumcised and he's told what it means to be a man. For some, I know there are so many cultures that do it differently, but the key ones, a man is celebrated, right? So he's initiated and celebrated. All life's transitions need initiation to be witnessed and to be celebrated. The nervous system gets to say, this is agreeable, acceptable, and I belong, right? So the nervous system holds it as becoming a beautiful thing, not as survive it, shame. So let's look at the woman and cultures where her initiation, menarche, who celebrates a girl when she hits puberty? Puberty is a stage. It's a whole lot of things that happen between when a girl turns 8 until her first period, right? It's not when the period comes alone. It is the growth that happens when she turns 8. Who celebrates her? Who tells her, oh, I see your titties, you're growing? Who tells her, wow, your height is amazing, you're growing? Who tells her, oh, your hips are expanding, girl, you're growing? Who tells her, I noticed that your sweat is changing in how it smells, you're growing? Who celebrates growth? Instead, there's shame around those things I've mentioned, right? She grows tall, she starts curving in because no one is celebrating the height change, right? She gets boobies, she starts hiding them because no one is celebrating them, so there must be a shame, right? She gets anything, like she gets hair, she starts hiding the hair because it means I'm going to get a period, be a woman. It means I'll be, I'll be ready for sex, right? So growth in a woman, anything that changes in a woman was shamed. So we call it feminine shame. The shame that is attached to a woman's transitions, anything that is transient in a woman was shamed. That's why when you tell her, you look 40, she's not reading that you're saying you're becoming. She's reading that you're saying you're running out. You're declining, girl. Because that's the shame, the silent shame that we have around that. So we are bringing it to the 40s. We are tired. What are we tired from? Why are we tired? Most people arrive in the 40s, Jagero. There's a syndrome I've come to give it called feeling put out to pasture. I'll explain it. Most people arrive in the 40s feeling put out to pasture. The observation that the world is not asking questions anymore. The world is not asking, so what stirs your soul? What are you becoming? What's exciting now? What are you looking into being? Instead, the world is asking, so how you manage? How you maintain?
Yeah. The mood swings.
So the world is asking you to maintain, to survive. It's not asking you to become. It's not ready to hold you in your becoming, right? Now what are you doing? So you start policing yourself because of what you know is happening to you that is not going to be witnessed. I will show you. So put out to pasture is when you start noticing that the world is not asking. The world is not excited to ask you about your sex and your desire. So what are you up to? What do you like more now? It's as if that is for the youth. It's as if it's not for anyone who is 35 and above, right? So the world stops asking questions. You start feeling invisible. It's as if your becoming is not witnessed. And you start feeling replaced. Not that you're actually being replaced at work, not that you're actually being replaced, but in your marriage, in your relationship, you start feeling like you're being replaced. At work, you start feeling, because no one is excited about your values. No one is asking you what's emerging. Right? So people are tired because they are suppressing too much. People are tired because they are policing themselves too much not to be what is feared. People are tired because their identities are changing and there's no space to hold the conversation in their homes, at work, and in their social circles. People are tired because the woman and the man the body is not going to allow to go through self-erasure anymore. Self-erasure is, in the earlier years, you were people-pleasing, you were following values that are probably not authentic to you, they're not your values, they're probably religious values, cultural values, but not your authentic values, right? In the earlier years, you're testing out things, a lot of things. In the earlier years, you have a lot of a lot of energy, right? But in the 40s, the body wants truth. Do you have capacity for this? The body cannot allow to lie to it anymore. Jagero, do you have capacity to shoot 20 episodes in one day? The body is talking to you, actually. But here, the mind and the soul are not aligning. The 40s want alignment.
The 40s want alignment.
Yes. What the body is telling you, to align it with what the mind is saying. No overriding anymore. Because by the time we arrive in the 40s, we've been overriding our body's signals for rest. The body gives us signals for, I need rest. You're not resting. You're giving me only 4 hours, but you're giving me too much work. You're putting a full plate. You're taking care of a sick mother. You're getting more promotions. You're running more businesses. You're having more children. Your children have grown now. They're going to university. Give me more rest because I'm handling more. So you override that signal. You override the signals of desire. Listen, that guy, he just comes and enters, but the boobs want to be touched a bit more. We want to feel more. We want to be felt. Can he touch your head? Can he touch your soul? Can he touch your thighs a bit longer? Can she touch your back a bit longer? The body is asking for more touch, not performance. But you're overriding that signal. And that signal is there. You can feel a certain dampness. There's what I say that in the earlier years, we have sex and it helps us to rest. After 40, we need to rest before you can have sex. There's a shift in desire that for libido to be able to be good, there needs to be restoration. So you need to change your lifestyle to rest so you can desire. Not to desire so you can rest. Because before it was, every time I have sex, I feel relieved. You feel regulated. But now, libido is not as spontaneous. In the 40s, it's responsive. It's responsive to care. And care, if you're intentional, it doesn't have to be too much. It is knowing the kind of care that you need, the kind of rest that you need, right? So your libido is now responsive. It's not as spontaneous. It's not gone. It just wants different care. Right? So we are tired because we are dealing with a body that has transitioned, but there was no language for it. We are dealing with a brain that has transitioned, no one gave you the language. We are dealing with a nervous system that wants regulation, that wants rest, not to be overridden. There's no language for it. Culture has not caught up yet. Now to that add ageism.
Ageism?
Yeah. It's a pathological, but before I go to ageism, let's just rename the crisis, the 40s, what they call a crisis. In most indigenous cultures, Jagero, even African culture, when people hit midlife, there used to be initiation, there used to be elders, there used to be witnesses, and it used to be celebrated. So you would be trained into going into eldership. Therefore, it was something to look forward to, not something to feel ashamed about, right? But now most women and men are arriving in the 40s, overriding their body's signals, feeling invisible, feeling something is emerging, but they're not naming it. They don't know how to put it out. Relationships that need negotiation, but there's no sexful conversation. There's no conversation about this is who I'm becoming. So that you can be able to catch up. So relationships are changing, not because there's betrayal, not because people don't feel each other anymore, no, but because the soul is emerging into something more powerful. The soul wants meaning now. It does not want hiding, it wants authenticity now. And it means you might be different to the same person you were in love with. So they might be stuck with the old version of you, still in love with the old version of you, and they have no skills to love the new you. But
the new you is the aging you.
It's the aging you who is emerging, who is becoming. You're becoming your best self. So there's the queendom, there's the sovereignty that comes. There's the soul wants sovereignty. There's a sense of autonomy that is rising. Autonomy is, I'm tired of erasing myself. I'm tired of only seeing myself through your eyes. I'm tired of only calling myself, let's say, and this is not to shame people who are married or to shame the titles. Like, if you ask me what's your name, Mrs. So-and-so, that means I've been going under that role of being a Mrs. I've not personalized myself, my journey. In the 40s, people want personal connection to what their authentic values and identities are, away from being mothers, away from being HR, away from being Mrs., away from being the identities that we built earlier don't work anymore. There's an identity shift. Because now you probably, personally, my son turned 15. So he went to boarding school. And I've experienced an identity change. So he went to boarding school this year. In Jagero, for the first time, I'm not waking up to prepare breakfast for this guy. I'm not managing, is he at school? Hypervigilance has gone. I'm not hypervigilant. I'm not wondering, is he being dropped at home? Who is picking him up from the gate? How is he feeling? I need to call home. When is he sleeping? But also there's rituals that we used to share, right? We had bedtime rituals. We had dinner together and stuff like that. When he went, something happened to me. I noticed that, and I was going through a seasonal kidney cleanse, right? Usually when we go through the kidney cleanse, we don't have cravings.
What is a
kidney cleanse is a hormonal, we have a hormone reset program under Wellness Together, and it's seasonal. It supports midlife care, midlife women and men to be able to detox and start the year softer. Yeah. So I was going through that. I was already under the kidney cleanse. The kidney cleanse is like a juice smoothie detox. Yeah. That we undertake. So usually when we are on the kidney cleanse, cravings disappear.
Why are you going so fast over kidney cleanse?
Okay. Because I don't want to forget what I was going to tell you about the
Okay, what are you telling me so that I remind you?
Okay. So I'm trying to tell you about the identity change that I just observed. And if I didn't sit with it, I would have felt
So I'm going to remind you. So okay. What is a kidney cleanse?
So the kidney cleanse, we run a program called the Hormone Reset Program. The Hormone Reset Program is a 3-month program that helps people to realign, to re-rhythm with the inner rhythms, with their internal rhythms, so that they can be able to not go through whatever it is that people have said, oh, in midlife you have fibroids, you have endometriosis, you have hot flashes, you have fatigue, you have sleepless nights, and all those things are because there's no care. Yet life is happening to us. People are going through divorce. People are losing children. People are changing jobs. What is the care? Without the care, that's why there's a pathology. Without the care, that's why there's a crisis. So I come through and I say, let's learn how to reset our hormones so that as they decline, they find care, a care that supports what the brain is saying, what the adrenals are saying, and what the hormones are saying anyway. So the Hormone Reset Program is for that. And it runs every 3 months. So under the Hormone Reset Program, we have what we call the pre-cleanse. The pre-cleanse is days to prepare the body for a cleanse. Then we have 21 days of a kidney cleanse. 21 days. We focus on the kidneys, the liver, detox organs, the liver, the colon, so that the detox organs can get support to eliminate excess estrogen, to eliminate excess cortisol. Because sometimes when our detox organs don't get support, when they're clogged, the liver will will detox on the inside, but there's no elimination taking place.
Okay.
So for us, we say let's support the organs, the detox organs and the elimination organs. So we do that through a kidney cleanse.
Which is smoothies and going hungry.
No. Now that's the point. So when you nourish the body, you don't get hungry. We are hungry because we don't have nutrients. When the body is starving from nutrients, that's when you're hungry almost all the time. So it's juices, it's broths. We also take care of the gut under the kidney cleanse. So we use broths, bone broths. We use smoothies, but smoothies which are cyclical, smoothies which have been designed to support your cycle or a woman's cycle, yeah? So we have smoothies, then we have, basically herbal teas, smoothies, juices, and broths, and probiotics. So those are taken in 21 days. When we are doing the 21-day kidney cleanse, there's better sleep, there's no fatigue, but cravings go. The taste and demand for sweet things, the wanting of carbohydrates all the time, that goes. So this was my observation. I noticed that even under the kidney cleanse, I was finding myself in the kitchen at 10 p.m. looking for something to munch on. And this not me. It's not me too. I'm not a snacky person, right? So I don't even make the trail mix, the nuts. Usually people who have high metabolism, I teach them how to make a trail mix so they can snack on something healthy. But I don't even have that in the house, yeah? So I'm in the kitchen, but I'm looking for something, like I'm yearning for something too, but you can tell that's a craving, right? So that means I'm craving something and I can't name it because I'm not used to it, right? But then now I'll get nuts, almonds, cashew nuts, and walnuts, and then I mix them with raisins and some cacao nibs, and then I eat them. Then when I'd eat them, I would find myself passing by my son's room. Then I go to sleep. So I sat down with myself and asked myself, what's this craving telling me? Because, Jagero, cravings, or rather nutrition, is multidimensional. Sometimes we are hungry not for food, but we're hungry for something. Sometimes we're hungry for connection. Sometimes we're hungry for expression. Sometimes we're hungry for desire. Sometimes we're hungry for rhythm, right? So we can be thinking, I'm actually hungry, I want to eat, when there's something else you're hungry for. If you take some time to ask, why am I craving, you might get a different answer. So when I asked myself that, I realized it's happening at the time when I would be saying good night to my son, would be praying together, would be reading a book together. So there was a ritual that we have had for years, almost, because it's 15, almost 13 years. We started reading together, bedtime stories, praying together, hugging, pecking, and now my body is used to that rhythm, to that ritual, and to that connection. Now that is gone, right? So that's what I'm craving for. I'm craving for rhythm, for ritual, for connection. So when I sit with myself, and if I'm to heal that part, it means there's something else that needs to emerge, because my role has changed there. There was a role of a supporting mother, a loving mother, a present mother, a compassionate mother, so that role is changing, but into what? I need to redirect that energy. So when I'm praying this time, I can pray for my dreams. I can focus on me for once alone. Yes, we pray for our children, but that means I needed to reframe that so I stop craving.
You pray too?
Exactly. Oh, you don't think I pray because I love sex? That's the misconception people have, that if you value sex, then you don't value God. When are we going to change that? When are we going to grow?
You're a mulokole?
No, I'm a Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah. It's as if all gynecologists are not religious people. I don't know when we're going to grow. I get that. Even when I'm talking to people, they tell me, for us as Christians, and then me, I'm who? It means they've already categorized
Virgil steaming is not for Christians.
They've already categorized anyone who values
God
sex.
will steam your vagina.
Anyone who talks about herbs, but mostly it's the sex. The sex puts you in a certain category. And then when you sit them down and you're like, okay, you prayed last night, but you also had sex last night.
It is always interesting that you're saying that, because a lot of people love this podcast so much, but are sort of embarrassed
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with some of the aspects of this podcast.
Yes.
And I'm like, why are you embarrassed of it? Why are you embarrassed?
Because we don't want to bring these conversations out to be talked about. Because when you talk about something more, vulnerability shifts and it becomes something that is allowed. Yes, respected, but is allowed. So in a country or in a culture where sex is shamed, you will expect that, But still, people are continuously told to marry, to have children. And then if you ask them to be authentic, really, how did you make that child? I had sex. Did you scream? Did you mourn? Did you want? Did you say, I want more? Those things happened. Does it make you any different from me, who expresses it publicly? Who can be able to say, if I want this, I want this? Who can be able to say, I enjoy the lingam massage, giving a lingam massage? Who says, I love orgasmic meditation? Who says, I love to be able to do breath work while I'm orgasming?
Orgasmic meditation.
I'm going to lose you. I want to keep that.
You don't throw words at me like that.
I threw one.
Orgasmic meditation.
Yeah.
What is an orgasmic meditation? Assuming that you remember where you are.
No, I'm going to connect it to what I was saying, why people are tired.
Okay.
People are tired because desire needs a reframe in the 40s. Desire before was performance, sex styles, do this. I see our sexual blueprints. There are sexual blueprints. There are people who are sensualists. There are people who are energetics. There are people who are sexy. There are people who are... So there's some people who come into the 40s with a sexy, like casual sex, like quickies, like, just perform it, right? The 40s, the body wants more. The body wants regulation. The 40s, the body wants presence. How long can your fingers linger? Can you touch my skin to know it, this time not to perform on it? Can you touch my soul? Can you be more emotive now? In the 40s, some men become withdrawn and more numb, but others become more emotional, right? Emotional because that's what is needed to now connect to the 40s woman. A 40s woman does not want to just be touched. She wants to be felt.
What does that mean? A 40s woman does not just want to be touched. She wants to be felt. What does that mean?
A 40s woman wants you to be able to touch her without the pressure of penetrating.
The other day, before you answer, my wife told me that I don't want to be on the background.
I don't want to be in the background.
I don't want to be in your background. I want you to be on the foreground.
Oh, I want to be in the foreground. She said that means she's tired of only going under the narrative of Mrs. Oduor. She's becoming. She wants to also, she wants to personalize her journey. She wants to be known for wanting things that might be different from what you want. She wants to be known for desiring, even if she's never spoken about that desire. She wants to listen to the soul, what the soul is telling her without the fear of will it be acceptable. She wants to front her desires, her dreams, her ambition, her goals, and whatever it is her soul is telling her. Because many times women limit themselves to only where their husbands can stop, right? So they shrink to be acceptable. But in the 40s, that shrinking, the body refuses it. If the mind is still shrinking, the body refuses. That's what I said. Without the alignment, that's when the crisis comes, right? So the mind can still be saying, I am Mrs. or I am this person's wife. And there's nothing wrong with being someone's wife, but there's what they call independence and interdependence. That I can be dependent on you, but also I will enjoy my independence. That I know the difference. I know when to come and be interdependent, like we be one, but also I can have a sense of self. Like I can allow for what is not agreeable with you to also exist. I want to believe that's what she meant because I'm not her. I would love to hear more what she meant, but I want to believe that's
I
what.
should interrogate further. You are talking about an orgasmic
meditation. So there are some practices, sexual practices that I teach couples to use so they can experience more libido and experience more desire in the 40s, because this is a desire we are saying is not put out to pasture. It just wants a different way of approaching it, right? So people who are used to performance, he comes, he touches her nipples kidogo, then he's entering. That is not working anymore. There's a silent fear that women are choosing toys to husbands.
Yeah.
because she will linger more with her toy, because she's at a stage where she has set boundaries, you've not listened. They've been compassionate boundaries. She has desired, you've not listened. Some men have not listened, according to what I get from the bridal showers. A woman says that, I would like to orgasm from my nipples, but when I tell my partner to linger more, to touch deeper. So when you touch and linger more, you're feeling her. Touch is emotional language. When you touch longer, when you feel longer, when it's not too stimulating, when you relax and regulate your body so that when you touch the other person, the touch is deeper than you're feeling the body. You're not just performing on the body. You're not just penetrating to relieve yourself. You are actually feeling her as you penetrate her. Your body and your soul are connecting to her as you penetrate her. There's more intention. You're present. A man who is not regulated, who doesn't breathe, is not going to be able to meet this woman. So they say that this woman is out. Her desire is low. Her vagina is dry. No, it's because she's not being met where she wants to be met. And she's done tolerating. She would rather not have sex than now tolerate performative sex. Most of the times, because I meet women, I tell them, you're not dry, you don't need lube. You need to be able to set clear boundaries with consequences. You need to listen to what your body wants. No, you don't have recurrent infections. Your vagina is tired of you lying. You lie that you love that guy, and yet everything about you doesn't align with that guy. Your values don't align with that guy, but you're just going because, you look good having a boyfriend or a husband because, as long as you continue lying, the vagina is going to speak the truth. The penis speaks the truth. Most men don't have erectile dysfunction. Most of them are done over-functioning, over-providing. They're done with their identity being stuck on provision, their identity being stuck on giving. They want to feel. They want space to feel. They want something is emerging and they want it to be witnessed and to be hallelujah, right? Some men don't have erectile dysfunction because it's a biological dysfunction. It is because there's no alignment between what their values are and what their bodies are saying yes to. So orgasmic meditation is when the woman and the man decide to pace her touch, how he touches her clitoris, aligning it with her breath. So as she breathes in, he strokes. She breathes out, and he strokes. And then it's not intended to end in an orgasm. It's intended to teach the woman to just be present. It's intended to allow the man to follow her rhythm. So if she breathes in, he strokes this side. If she breathes out, he strokes this side. So the difference between that stroking and this? And then her breath sort of like regulates. In the concept of breathing, breath regulates and stimulates more desire and stimulates the body to have more orgasmic capacity. So if she can do that for 15 minutes, if the couple can do that for 15 minutes, her body becomes alivened for multiple orgasms, but also full body orgasms. Sometimes people orgasm from the genitals only. Other people orgasm and the body experiences a full body orgasm, the whole body, to the point that even the next day for a whole week, she feels trembles in her body. That's how you know that's a full body orgasm. To achieve that, the nervous system needs to regulate. Now, with all the things that we do in the 40s, Jagero, she's the CEO somewhere. She's been in the boardroom the whole day. He's been there as well. There's children that you've been monitoring the whole day, right? There's parents you've been taking care of. You come home, you're parking that car, and the children are in your face. Not that it's a bad thing, but then in the next 30 minutes, you're expected to be experiencing multiple orgasms. Wapi? The nervous system can't listen to that. The nervous system needs you to first regulate. So there needs to be rituals with couples.
You keep saying regulate.
Okay, so let me show you how let me use what you can understand. Stress levels. Not that stress is bad. When we are out there and we are chasing, we are hustling, we are mostly in either numb state, or we're frozen, or we are in fight mode. So when we are in fight mode, the nervous system is in what we call a sympathetic state. Sympathetic meaning it's surviving the day, right? However, for you to desire to have an orgasm, the nervous system needs to drop to what we call the pleasure zone. It's also called the window of tolerance. You understand? Now, it doesn't just drop there because you've seen your lover, right? It doesn't just drop there. It needs regulation. There's so many tools for regulation. I teach women breath work that regulates them when they're just in the car before they step out of the car. That is like personal self-care to regulate yourself so that you can meet your children at a level of love, not from hyper performance, right? You can meet your partner in the house, at a level of, at a regulated state so that you're not screeching, you're not reactive, you're not, picking up on stuff. You understand, right? So the window of tolerance, you can do breath work, you can cuddle, you can touch more before you get. So touch brings you to this window of tolerance. What can couples do to get there? You can shower together. You can be in each other's space and breathe together because your nervous systems regulate each other. So when you're sitting and you're not too far from each other, you're naturally regulating each other. So sitting close to each other, hugging, and making sure the hug goes for more than at least 20 seconds, not shoulder rubs, but a hug that lingers and stays, it regulates, right? Hugging the children in a hug that lingers and stays. These children are not just children to raise. The children are medicine. Our children's nervous systems regulate us. So when you get your baby and you're hugging them, they're also regulating you. So if you go into the house and straight to the bathroom, you've missed out on the most important regulatory tool, which is the children, right? So if you can hug the children or sit down with them and play with them for even 45 minutes, they regulate you because their nervous system. Co-regulation is a concept of relationships where one nervous system regulates a nervous system. As long as you and I are talking, we are regulating each other. Jagero, me and you can talk for even 2 hours, 3 hours. Why? Because there's energetic co-regulation. We are co-regulating each other. That we are talking, but also our nervous systems are regulating each other, right? That's why solitude hurts more than community, right? So you have that at home. You have the family, you have the children, and you have your wife. She has you. But people are not using each other. There's no pleasure. Pleasure is the intentional lingering of these things that regulate our nervous systems before we can have sex. It's staying in each other's energy intentionally. Give yourself 45 minutes. Plan what you will do. As couples, you can come up with so many things, right? If that has not happened, maybe downstairs or in the sitting room, you've been playing a role of parents, right? Have a ritual in the bedroom before we touch or before you penetrate me. I'm open for sex, but I feel like more touch, more connection. Can you cuddle more? So orgasmic meditation is one of those things couples can do together, 15 minutes of regulating her. So when she's breathing like that, her breath moves from flight down to the pleasure state. And that state is what? Is called the parasympathetic state. So from sympathetic to parasympathetic, also the pleasure zone, right? Now there, she can have multiple orgasms. But if you penetrate her when she's still upper uku, it will be cook performance. It should come very fast. Guess what? That tastes like junk food. It's not like gourmet sex. Junk food sex leaves you feeling depleted.
Gourmet sex.
Gourmet sex restores you. It makes you feel creative the next day.
What is gourmet out of sex?
Okay, you know a gourmet meal?
No, I want to be reminded. Then we tie it to gourmet sex.
That's a good thing. So junk food, you know what chips do for you. If you order for chips and soda, that's a quickie, right?
Yeah.
Something to give you short-term energy. But eventually what will it do for you? It will deplete you because it will strain your liver. It will strain your bladder. It is too much salt. It will strain your kidneys. So it looks like a meal, but it leaves you depleted rather than nourished, right? So that's junk food. That's what junk food does to you. Junk food doesn't restore you like when you go and sit somewhere and take some soup first, right? And eat a meal which has healthy proteins, like good proteins, carbohydrates, vegetables, but also spread out. A gourmet meal is not rushed. You take the soup and some bread, and then you chill it out a bit. You're not in a hurry, right? And then you go and order for the main meal, and then the main meal has components that really take care of your muscles, take care of your health, take care of your like proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, right? And then you chill it out. Then there's the dessert, right? The dessert has things that pleasure you, things that make you feel good, but also it's not food that is eaten together. So you don't eat the soup and the main meal and the dessert, like I said, at some weddings, where people serve the food, the nyama, the ugali, the watermelon, the pineapple, the cake, all on one plate. That is how people eat some food. So what this food does, if it's a gourmet meal, there's some time, right? It's spaced out. It's not rushed. When you eat that meal, it restores you, meaning the next day you feel lighter instead of heavy, right? The next day you feel more motivated and more focused instead of tired. There's no bloating, there's no gas. So that meal has nourished you. It does not deplete you. Fast food sex depletes you. The kind of sex where if you go home and you just go straight into the house, hit the bathroom and shower, go into that bed, probably even not turn over so you can look into her eyes and kiss her, but you just penetrate her, the next day she feels tired. Then she doesn't want sex. Now she wants to have sex after 5 days. You want too much. You know why? Because the felt sense is tiredness. So that sex has depleted her. But if you give her gourmet sex, you go home, hug her long enough, stay in her space, talk to her in a way that you're interested in her life, right? Meet her deeply, right? Touch her a bit longer, maybe shower with her or oil her body or have the orgasmic meditation with her or massage her or even just touch her longer, like be intentional. I say the key, like when I'm talking to my women, I tell them, have this boundary. If you don't orgasm 3 times before penetration, that sex is going to deplete you. If you can make your wife orgasm 3 times before you penetrate her, that sex is going to nourish her. Let me first talk about sex that nourishes. So if you touch her longer and you meet her a bit longer, when you eventually penetrate her and she orgasms, that kind of orgasm, the next day she feels more creative. Like literally women would say when they have nourishing sex, their businesses, their ideas come easier. They're not hard to come by, right? They are motivated, they have energy to do things. They're good people. They don't pick fights over everything. Right? And isn't that a good thing? It means it nourished her to a level where she can perform without stress, without straining, without overperforming, without over-trying. Then she's magnetic. When she has nourishing sex, clients come easier because now she's magnetic. She has all this good energy we talked about. It makes her magnetized so she doesn't have to over-beg for clients. She doesn't have to sing for them to be able to come to her, right? So you asked... what would you mean orgasm before or 3 times before? Because our men have been trained to perform sex. Now changing the narrative feels like too much work. Not so. Telling them, listen, you can't just come and you're entering. Why is it that you touch my nipples, that's it, you've gone? I want you to double my orgasm. Or I need you to stimulate me, double the eroticism. Erotic intelligence is needed in the 40s. Not that it's too much work, but it's needed for the body to be met deeply, right? So for depth, it can be, let's just try. Let me make sure that I orgasm 3 times before you penetrate me. Once we talked about the 7 types of orgasms on your podcast and we didn't go deep, and I saw people were asking which ones are they. Jagero, a woman's body has erogenous zones where she can fully orgasm from, meaning her pleasure can be spread out. Right? A woman can orgasm from kissing. Have you kissed a woman until she comes?
Oh, must be a lot of work.
Exactly. So, Jagero, I keep saying, sometimes if we really ask people before they married, are you asking for a relationship or you're asking for a slave? Because a relationship is going to require for time and effort. Are those things you can give? Because then again, why do you want a relationship? Why would you be married to someone's daughter and you don't meet her relational needs? We have needs, Jagero. So if I have needs and you've chosen to marry me, with the undertone of I'm coming to meet your needs. Why do you say when I need and desire, it's too much work? If you checked your capacity, you should have said, I don't have capacity to do those things. Therefore, you're not fit for marriage. Not everyone is fit for marriage.
Yeah.
If you don't have capacity to meet someone's needs, we are hurting people. People are going into depression. People are hurting a lot because they are tied in vow to people who are not meeting their relational needs. Is that fair to humanity?
I don't think so.
It's not fair. If we check in, we ought to be honest with ourselves and say, I notice you have these needs, and they're biological needs. They're not even over-wanting or dramatic needs. They're not high maintenance woman needs. No, they are biological needs. Needs I need to survive. And I chose you with whom to have these needs met. And you swore to me that you will try and you put in the work. Why do you betray people?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a therapy session. I feel really rounded up.
Isn't it? Because anything we say,
I feel like I've paid a lot of money for this.
Also, you need to pay me.
Yeah.
I feel underpaid.
I feel like what the things that you are saying, and these things are not in public domain most of the time. Nobody's talking about them.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because a lot of people feel tired. A lot of people feel like they don't have a life. Just zzz, like buzzing, like, you know, like right now it's raining outside. When I was in the village, I used to, when it's raining, I would just stand by the window and look at the rain. And sometimes it would be slashing through the window and hitting it, and I'm feeling the full rain. And at some point we used to go and dance in the rain. Or after the rains, we'll just go and slide down.
Those used to be good times.
You know?
Yeah.
And I felt like these days, like it is just podcast after podcast. It's like, what is going on? We need to take some steps back. And, you know.
I like that. I like that you noticed that. Like, why did we stop living? And what are we doing? Because then, if we are not living, we are not thriving, we are surviving.
Yeah.
When are you going to stop surviving? You're overriding your body's needs for this because the body needs both rest and action. We've decided to override the rest and we've decided to overwork it. And for what? But you will notice, I think, along the way, there's things I talk about. Also, masculinity needs a reframe in the 40s. Femininity needs a reframe in the 40s because those are medicines for us. If we reclaim them, they will help us, you know, go away from this. But that's a conversation for another day. Because when you bring that out, it's now asking ourselves what went wrong, what changed. You know, even the Bible that you love so much says, happy are those who are like kids. Like if you keep the playfulness, if you keep the wonder, it regulates you and you're able to be present for, because we don't have capacity. That's what you're coming to. In the 40s, we don't have capacity to be there for the people and for the things that we have chosen. You see people who are in a happy marriage, but she's not happy. She's not allowed to say, yes, he's providing. Yes, I have children, but I want more. Right? We see a person who has a job, but she feels like she wants something else. Right? We are seeing that. We see people who have children and then they are tired. What is underneath? It's because they need to recheck the capacity. What we don't have is capacity, but we are not building the capacity. We are overriding the body. If we built the capacity, I use this analogy in bridal showers over that. So many women tell me, Dawryn, those things are too many. Being a woman is hard.
Bridal showers are the ones, the expectation of a kid, or
No.
Which one
At
is
bridal
it?
showers, we talk really deeply about sex and sexuality and
that's for the woman that is about to get married.
Yes, for the woman that is about to get married.
And
So
the one where they're welcoming the body is called what?
the welcoming
The baby that's coming.
baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I still also do sexuality at baby showers because it's different. Most of our women are not taught how to balance their hormones so that their libido is healthy and their desire is good anyway. So, but at bridal showers, so many times I'm talking to women about taking care of themselves so that the libido is there. I keep telling women, if your libido is good, if you keep that desire, the things that are feminine won't feel like tiring things. For me, that's the thing. Most of the modern women have lost capacity. So they hate womanhood, they hate children, they're beginning to hate children. They're saying they're decentering men because they are fronting themselves. Now, but who stopped you from fronting yourself? It was supposed to be that you take care of yourself first so that you have capacity to take care of the people that you love. But instead, society taught selflessness. That abandon yourself, take care of the people that you love. And so women are feeling that nervous systems are tired from over-functioning like that. So they're using the word I don't like personally. Men were not the problem. We didn't teach women how to choose themselves first. So they're saying to choose themselves, they must decenter men. That means it kills interdependence. It kills the relational concept of have your space, know when to come to be together, right? So when we say decenter men, for me, I'm understanding, get done with them, front yourself. Even as that can be radical or activism, like, it's okay, but what are we living for the younger woman? That womanhood is bad. Having children is bad. Being a wife is bad. And for me, those are not problems. Capacity is the problem. We're not teaching people a life where they can build capacity. So I tell them at bridal showers, we used to love being in the kitchen. I love being in the kitchen. For me, a kitchen is not a place to overcompensate, to overfunction. It's actually a place for me to regulate my tempo. When I'm in the kitchen, the sensuality of the food is actually regulating me. The cutting of vegetables, the aromas of the fruits and the vegetables, the textures. When I'm playing with those things, I live when I'm more regulated as a woman.
You love the kitchen.
I do. But you see, it's been demonized as a place of losing yourself. You know, when you're in the kitchen, men are discussing wild ideas. When you're in the kitchen, it's not like I don't have ideas. It's not like I don't have a time for discussing ideas. But if I remember the kitchen to being a place of healing, I would take it away as being a place of when I'm over-functioning, right? While service is a good thing, but if we tie the kitchen to I'm only serving, then it kills the healing component of it that used to be beneficial for women, right? So sensuality is medicine for women. Sensuality is part of pleasure. When women connect to senses, it regulates them. So when women are regulated, they do this mothering thing with ease. Then they can mother 6 children. And they can cook 3-course meals without feeling overwhelmed. We are seeing women who cook ugali and skuma and she's tired. Now we have a woman who has 1 kid, she cooks 1 meal once a week and she's tired. So then she hates all these things because she thinks they're the ones which are making her tired. For me, I think it is the capacity to do the things that we love. So we are not teaching her how to build capacity. Yeah. So if we take it back to what you said, if you know Jagero, you have these podcasts to shoot. What are you doing to create capacity in the body for them? Before you wait for the body to scream. Before you wait for the body to break down.
I agree. It's been wonderful. This has gone for 2 hours.
No ways.
Yeah. Right? 2 hours.
I hate you, so I'm not going to. Why did you take the whole year with that?
People of the internet, this was amazing. And if you're watching this podcast, you're wondering to yourself, how can I make myself better? How can I regulate myself? We have the expert here, Nyiramugisha. I want you to tell us how people can reach you in order to do some of these things, to help them through some of these many things that you've talked about. My takeaway from this place, from this podcast today is the idea of orgasmic meditation is all right. The steaming of vagina, especially sitting on that stool, it's a bit. I got a business idea for you. So tell us about how people can find you.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Part of the things that we've talked about today is allowing myself to be the voice of society and give language to what's happening to women and men as they hit midlife. So I have programs. One is called the Hormone Reset Program that I run to help them learn how to navigate midlife so that it feels like a pleasurable thing, not a pathology. Same thing for the girls. I have Blooming Unicorns, a program for young girls and women that helps them to learn how to take care of their wombs, their vaginas, their bodies, so that then sex and fertility and womanhood don't feel like a hassle or something harder later. Every holiday, I run those ones. I also run a book club. This year, we have a theme, Bash Ageism. Like, change how age feels like in the body. Remove the shame.
I remember the book club that I went to in
Exactly. So
I'll
this
never
year
forget.
we are
You guys were looking like you're from another world.
Oh, thank you. We always do. So this year we are starting with Wild Power.
I wish they could put some of those videos. There's a reel
that
we
you
made. My good man, can you remember to put that, to ask for that reel and the pictures so that the people of the internet can see those pictures? It's one of the best events I've ever attended in a long time. I don't know whether it is the beauty of the women, or it's the beauty of the place, or it is the beauty of the vibes. It was out of this world.
My women, but the women that I work with, by the time we finish like a year together, we've changed so many narratives that they're magnetic like that. You come around them and you can feel that sense of groundedness, of magnetism, of they are self-assured. I remember you mentioned that. You said there's something about these women. It looks like a gospel kind of thing. Like it's a different narrative, it's a different language, but it's giving you what you would want. You know, you're seeing women who are self-assured, who are grounded, who are feminine, who are beautiful. So that's what. So for this year, we are connecting to the power of our cycle through books, connecting to the power of our wisdom, to the wisdom of our bodies.
You're going to have another event like that one?
Yeah, I'll have that, and it will end in a retreat. So we will have a retreat, and we want to take it to Cape Town. We sit together 7 days and change.
In Cape Town?
Yeah, change the narrative of ageism, of midlife, of desire, of pleasure.
It is a shame that you only do it to women.
But men don't want to come through, Jagero. You know, since I met you, I've only had programs with 2 men. Only 2 men. The rest will come and they're asking me, if you talk to me, will you talk to me the way you talk to Jagero? They want to pay for 1 hour so I can talk to them. Men are so interesting. And then I find they're so...
Omera!
It was so interesting. You know, I receive and then I want to see why
that is mentioning Jagero's name in vain.
And I don't know, like, you pay 4,000 shillings for me to talk to you the way I talk to Jagero. Like, what's that? There's women out there telling me that you're performing sex on them, you're not able to be present, and you don't want us to talk about that. There's women out there who are saying they want to desire,
But
and you're asking them.
The book club is for only women.
Yes, because I only get interest from women, so I organize events and book ideas. If I get men, I'll also organize things for them. But to be honest with you, it's not easy to get to men. And I know, so they have their challenges and their hindrances. And one thing men will tell you is they want to first hear from a man. I see that a lot, that they want a male figure, or they want a man to also, like represent them.
Do you think I can be that kind of man?
I think you can. Honestly, they need you. My son needs you. I have a son, and I'm not going to teach him how to be a man. There's a place I'll stop. You understand? But there's no mentors. You guys need to come out, whether ready or not. You don't have to be holier than thou. You don't have to be so good, but you need to create spaces for men to talk about what it means to be a man, masculinity, desire, understanding women. We also want men who are interested in understanding us, not only understanding us for our vaginas and only penetrating them, to really understand the vagina, the mind of the woman, the womb of the woman. Jagero, women struggle. When a woman has fibroids, to hear a woman come and say, she told her husband, the doctor said I have fibroids, and he's like, so who are you sleeping with? You get to understand the difference between connection, shame, and interest in understanding. Are you married to a box or to a living, breathing thing that needs to be understood? Men don't even understand the womb nature of a woman. But they're married to her and they have 6 children with her. You know, but this knowledge needs to be given to them kidogo kidogo. If it starts earlier, then they become more equipped to loving and being present with these women. Most of them would rather distract themselves than try to understand or to be there, because they don't know how to be there. So yes, we need men mentors or male mentors.
How do they reach you?
How?
How do the people that want to talk to you
I
reach
am
you?
on Instagram. as Wellness Together. Also on WhatsApp. So on Instagram is my number. They can be able to get my number to reach me on WhatsApp. But usually by the time you reach me on WhatsApp, we have a clear understanding of, if I understand what you need from me, how I can support you, then we can have a conversation on WhatsApp. So through Instagram, through Facebook, email, wellness together wellnesstogether28@gmail.com. We have a website as well that we can be able to drop down for them. I can be reached, and I will be very happy to indulge.
All right. Thank you very much. It was an amazing thing. I missed you a lot.
I miss this moment as well.
Yeah. People of the internet, thank you very much for... please consider subscribing to Dialogues with Jagero if you like the videos that we make and the conversations that we have. Hit on that notification bell so that when we have the Nyiramugisha coming again, you'll be the first person to be notified. Also, we are going to almost 1 million followers on Facebook, 750 something, Peter? 760,000 followers on Facebook.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and TikTok, we are also around that. If you do DWJ Europe and DWJ Kenya, I think it goes to about that, right? And then on Instagram, you're also there. You can follow us there. So, until another episode, bye for now.
Thank you.